Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode, we're back as promised against Juventus and Roma. Two huge games without a doubt, and as you can tell from the table, I'm not doing too poorly. Baka's still our top goal scorer and top average rating, so it's a good thing we got him back on loan this season. We'll go through things specifically, or in more detail rather. But as you can tell, of course, finance is still poor. The board are very happy with how we're doing. In terms of how we're doing, the table itself, we're in 4th place in the Champions League spots, but we are level on points with Pescara, who are the early table leaders. But of course, I'm sure you've noticed the points. It's very tight. You know, if let's say Napoli lose, they can drop from 1st to 5th that quickly. So it's a very competitive Serie A season this time around. No one's undefeated. And it's actually kind of good to see. It's very interesting. It's nerve-wracking, but it makes the league that much more interesting. It's why the Serie A can be a very interesting team. As you can tell, Inter in 7th place as well. You know, a team like Pescara, you wouldn't have expected to have done this well. Even Napoli doing this well. I mean, I know in real life they're doing well, but in the game itself, they don't tend to do too good. Roma as well, doing much better than they did last season. Fiorentina are the ones who are struggling, the surprise strugglers. And you know, it's a very mixed bag at the moment, so let's hope that can work in our favour in the long run. But at the moment in 4th place, just 3 points off the top, so this is what makes the Juve and Roma games so important, not just that they're 2nd and 3rd, but if we want to have any hopes of winning the title, and to be honest, if we want any hopes of getting the Champions League spots, we really do need to pick up some points against these two teams. 4 points wouldn't be too bad, but the ideal situation is of course to get all points, and the worst case scenario is to get none and see ourselves tumbling down the table. If we lose both games, that opens us up to drop to about, you could say, just outside the Europa League zone, so pretty much just where Inter are. But we want to avoid that happening entirely. The board's aim is Champions League football, like I said, so if we're not even in the Europa League spots, then that does seriously put my place under pressure. But anyways, in terms of what happened since the last episode, there's been a number of games in truth. So we showed you that game against Inter, the 3-3 draw. We're hoping for better results against the top teams in the division. We did beat Maribor 6-0, so we bounced back from the Inter game, but of course it's not a game that we were going to ever have any trouble in truth. But Cotron, the backup striker, won the kid in the game, has actually been really good. Grabbed a brace in that game, of course, and I hope he continues developing into a top striker. But at the moment, he's just a backup. Hakan grabbing a brace as well, and Nicola and Suso making sure they don't miss out on the goals. Sassuolo, though, we managed to lose to 1-0 in the 82nd minute. Not an ideal way to lose. We were away from home, doesn't make the result any more acceptable. And to drop all 3 points was quite disappointing. We went on a nice little winning run after that, so it's good to see. No losses, no draws, so a really good period in truth. And we head into this game as good as ever in terms of form. But, when it comes to top games like this, form doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, Sampdoria was 4-2 with Silva grabbing a hat-trick and Alessio grabbing a goal there as well. We struggle at keeping ourselves, defending well, keeping clean sheets and whatnot. And we only seem to do it against smaller teams like Sparta Prague here. Bonaventura and Baka both on the score sheet, scoring twice within 2 minutes, or within a minute of each other, basically. And that pretty much got us all 3 points. We've also beaten Spal 4-1. Took us a little bit to get going, but we eventually managed to grab the goal in the 30th minute there, and then the rout started in the second half, in the late period of the second half, really. Chivo was a nice little 3-0 result, the perfect ideal result I always talk about. 3 goals and a clean sheet is, you can't really complain. Baka and Alessio grabbing the goals there, and against Standard, just cruised by on a 1-0 result with Hakan grabbing the goal that time. Against Fiorentina, things started off really poorly with Simone scoring the goal for Fiorentina. We went to half-time losing. Screamed at my players, it seemed to work. Fabio Barini grabbing 2 goals and Cotron grabbing the 3rd to make things comfortable for us with in the 87th minute with just a couple of minutes left to go in the game. So yeah, all in all, not bad. Really just one result to be disappointed about since that Inter game, but we do need to keep plugging away. Because if we want any hopes of actually, topping this table, it looks like it's going to be all about who is the more consistent team, the way things are going. But anyways, we've got 2 games, so let's get into it. We've been talking too long in truth. This is the team we'll be going with. I'm sure you've noticed the main person missing, which is Suso. Borini's on instead because of his recent good form, as you could tell from the past few games. Herrera comes in for Kessie. Aaron's in because Ricardo Rodriguez was injured for a bit, and Aaron took advantage of it by playing well. We've got a first choice in Donnarumma, Conti, Bonucci, and Alessio. Herrera already talked about. Lucas is as present as ever. He's hardly given Locatelli a sniff at game time, as you can tell from his lack of fitness. Bonaventura starting, of course. Andre Silva, always our first choice striker, and Coutron gets a nod just ahead of Bacca. Bacca's had a hell of a season, but Coutron just playing too well for me to drop him. In truth, it's tough to drop someone when they're performing. It's a huge game, but I have trust in him. He's a top player, and I think he's definitely going to be, if we can hold on to him, he's really going to be one of the best in the world. In truth, he's already got an Italian cap at the age of 20 years old. And we hope to keep giving him the game time. He proved his worth last season away from, when we sent him on loan. So he's definitely got goals in him. It's just about, giving him as much game time as possible. And as you can tell, so far, already in December, we haven't given him his game's worth, basically. But he hasn't had any complaints, so that's good to see as well. But anyways, I think we can just get ahead into today's game as well. So let's get that, let the players warm up and everything. We need to make sure we set the right settings as well. Juventus playing in a very defensive formation. They're stacking the midfield and the defense, so we're going to have to make sure we can attack well. But they're also keeping up players up in terms of Dybala and Higuain, so we're going to have to be very careful of them as well. But top team as always. No real, huge changes in terms of the team except for Victor Sanchez maybe, and this guy here, Lustig, Mikael Lustig. So yeah, I think we matched them in terms of our team. Borini's maybe a bit of our weakness, and Aaron maybe, but they should be good enough to compete in this type of games unless they wouldn't be in our squad. So yeah, let's set the highlights. We want it to be on key highlights because we're showing 2 games today. Can't afford to go on comprehensive. We want to show the replays as well on goals, and then do the ideal team talk. So I'm assuming we're not favourites for today's game. You can tell here, so I think we're going to go with the team talk of that we want revenge, and I think based on us not being, favourites for today's game, we're going to be on counter instead of control, and hope that we can hit Juventus on the break, and try and do that to the best of our ability. We've got the players forward, we've got the defense in terms of the 2 midfielders and this, the back line 4. Our fullbacks aren't that attacking. We're playing fullbacks, not wingbacks or complete wingbacks. So we're playing one fullback on support as well. The other one's on the fullback on attack, but again, they're not that high up the pitch in comparison to other fullbacks, so we should be okay. We're playing 2 wide men on either flank in comparison to Juventus 1 on either flank, so I think we can try and take advantage of that wide play. We already try and exploit the flanks either way. In the early stages seems to be, or the statistics seem to point to our bit of domination, not in terms of possession, but in terms of shot. Juventus are quickly working their way into the game though. I think, no real highlights by the looks of things, so I'm going to ask my players to pass the space, hit early crosses and run at defense to try and take advantage a little bit more. But both teams evening each other out, I would say. As the game goes on, Juventus have certainly grown into it, but no highlights, so no one really creating much. That's kind of disappointing. I was hoping for an exciting game, but Coutron disappointing me in the game that I'm trying to prove his worth, and Bonaventura having a poor game as well. Definitely, we need to try and tell these guys to step up their game, but Juve not having good performers either. Neither team really doing anything dangerous at all. That ends a whole half without a single match highlight. I don't think that's ever happened in the video before. Alright, then what can we do to motivate these players? Already went with the revenge team talk. Let's give the fans something to cheer today. Some of these players definitely need to step up. We're going to be looking to make some substitutions as early as the 60th minute. For now, let's try and trust them in the second half. I want to ask my players to maybe roam from positions and be more expressive so that they can try and do something in the second half. Maybe, that we're not exploiting space as well as we could be. Anyways, there is a highlight this time, but I'm hoping it doesn't end. It's right. Okay, there you go. Great. Come on, give me something. I The good news is that both their strikers are performing poorly as well. Silva's not doing too well in truth. We're going to be taking off Bonaventura and Coutron, but we have a chance there through set piece finally. Can we score through it though? Herrera? Oh, he just blasts that into the net. The guy has no mercy. And he's seriously making a case to take over from Kessie, but it's nice to see us grab the first goal. Juventus have to come at us now a little bit more, and we're playing on the counter, so that should definitely suit us. But at the moment, we need the second goal to really ensure us. But this is, oh my god, it's a bicycle kick as well. The guy's an absolute madman, and we signed him for free as well. But yeah, Juve are definitely going to have to try and come at us a little bit more now. We can even make our substitutions and hope to grab a second goal. So we're going to take off Bonaventura, like we mentioned, having a poor game. Coutron though, it's nice to bring back off the bench. That's even more trouble. And I would argue either Silva or Barini could come off as well. But we don't want to make all three substitutions just yet. But yeah, amazing. I couldn't have asked for more. They're going with the three-man striker partnership now. And Chiellini got injured for them as well, so that works in our favour a little bit. But we're playing on the counter. Should hold out. If we can grab a goal on the break, another one, that'd be perfect. So let's take off Barini now for Suso. Another player that's really good to bring off the bench. You know, we're not bringing off backup players off the bench. We're bringing proper first-teamers in Suso and Bacca. Hakan's the only one who's pretty much trying to take advantage of Bonaventura's poor game. Anyways, Bonici rises and Bacca is on his way. Can you find anyone free though? Silva. Can we take advantage of how attacking Juve are being? Lucas. Forward to Conti. Can he deliver the early cross? Takes his time, but eventually it's Hakan at the far post. Oh no, oh, it was Hakan. I thought it was someone else. But there you go, 2-0. Can't ask for a better way to perform, really. There's about 17 minutes left. They're still playing on attack for sure with the three-man striker, but I think the way we've dealt with them so far all game long, it's going to be strange to see Juventus overturn it. But we're going to stay on counter, of course. We won't go into contain unless we concede, but it'll be nice to see us grab a third as well. I'm always going to be greedy that way. But finally we grab a goal from open play, so we don't have to say that we're just set piece dominators or whatever. But as you could tell from Juve, they're still playing the same formation, but they dropped off in terms of how attacking they were. And that works in our favour, I think. We've definitely shown that we're no pushovers. This might be the first time we beat Juventus since we've started this career mode, so it's a good thing that's finally happened. And my players have definitely gotten revenge here. But Juve are making sure that they don't go out without a fight here. Marchisio on the ball, pushing the players forward without a doubt. I think Marchisio is a defender, if I'm not mistaken. Going all the way. We'll take those long shots all the way. And as you can tell, even Szczesny been quite adventurous there. But we hold on. You have to say Juve haven't created a single dangerous chance. I think their manager is definitely going to be upset. If I can just have a quick look and see if it's still Allegri. It is. He is going to be fuming. Juventus not as dominating in the league as they have been in the past, and you'd argue it's probably because there's not too much money in Italian football. They can't really consistently add to their team in a way that they would have liked to possibly. I mean, if you saw, it wasn't Rugani, it was someone else, the other centre back that I didn't even know who he was. That's not someone that you really want to be playing as a backup to Chiellini, for example, or anything like that. He was 32 years of age, a Swedish international. He seems okay. It's definitely not a poor choice, but I'm sure Juve would have liked a youngster with potential. But there you go. Ends 2-0. They predicted a draw, and it worked in our favour that we weren't favourites. We started on the counter. It all fell in our hands very well. So perfect result. And we're hoping for something very similar against Roma. But yeah, at least we grabbed 3 points, like I mentioned. If we grab 4 out of these 2 games, it wouldn't be poor, but we want all 6, and I'm hoping the players are just as hungry as I am. Right then, player of the match performance from Conti of all people. So my defenders performed well too, so not bad. We face Roma within 5 days, so not bad. But yeah, it sends us into second, level on points with Napoli. Let's have a quick look at who they play as well. So they're going to be playing tomorrow. They play Fiorentina. It's not going to be the easiest of games, but considering where Fiorentina are, Napoli should be winning that. When we face Fiorentina, they definitely showed that they're not going to just roll over. Roma playing Crotone, mid-table team. You'd expect Roma to get the result, but they're away from home as well. Inter, not really in consideration. It's Pescara who play Lazio, and that's going to be an interesting game there too. So hopefully it all works in our favour. But anyways, we'll be back in just a moment's time, ready for the Roma game. And we're back. So, we've got the game against Roma, of course, who are in second. All the teams in the rest of the table have already played their game, so the last game of the round. And as you can tell, we can go top of the table. The same is on offer for Roma. But if we grab all 3 points, we're 36 points, we'll go top of the table. And, you know, what a mix. I mean, if Juve just lose, they already drop all the way to the Europa League zones. And that kind of tells us, like I said, you have to try and be as consistent as possible in this league. Because at the moment, in this season at least, things are just absolutely crazy. So, I just wanted to have a quick look at our past meetings with Juve, just to double check whether that was our first win. But I'm pretty sure it is. There you go, our first win against Juve, and what a time to grab it. And we need something similar against Roma. Let's have a look at that past meetings. 2 draws, so we want to avoid a draw. I did say it was the ideal, you know, getting 4 points wouldn't have been bad at all, considering we're away from home as well. Yeah, we need all 3 points if we want to be top of the table, and that's exactly what we want to set the tone. So we really want to finally get into the top spot. I don't think we've been top spot all season long. Let me have a look at that as well. Can go on stages, I think. No, not stages. Past positions. AC Milan. Yeah, we haven't been top at all season long, so we really just want to push that and show people that we're really serious here today. But anyways, in terms of the team itself, a couple of changes. So Ricardo Rodriguez comes in for Aaron, who didn't have the best of games. He wasn't, you know, he didn't have a poor game at all, but he definitely didn't have a, you know, the type of game that we expect if you want to hold your place in the squad. So Rodriguez comes in. He's not entirely fit, but he should be able to do a good job. His overall physical condition's perfect. He's just a little low on fitness because he had a recent injury. He should be fine. We've got Aaron on the bench anyways, just in case anything happens to Rodriguez. Pretty much the same defense because they've done really well. Donnarumma's still our league goalkeeper. Herrera keeps his place because of that incredible goal. And Suso and Hakan come in for Barini and Bonaventura, who are both disappointed against Juventus, and we could have potentially had more goals had they have performed. Silva always, of course, doing well with 4 stars, no doubt, and performed decently enough to hold his place for now, but we do want to see an improved performance against Roma. Bacca comes in for Coutron, who really couldn't afford to have the type of performance that we saw against Juve. You know, we're trying to prove that he was a good player, but he couldn't do it. I think at the moment he seems to be enjoying coming off the bench more so than starting games. But anyways, that's the team. Let's get into it. I think in terms of quality, I'm expecting a Roma side who aren't as good as they are or usually are. But as you can tell, in terms of the players, I think they lost some decent players last season, if I'm not mistaken. I think sometimes I just make things up in truth, but I just have a feeling. So last season they did end poorly. You'd expect them to see some transfer history. So they brought in these 2 players here, but in terms of their outs, they had to sell Jesus, Ricardo. Alexander Kolarov is pretty much the only player who's the main one, and he just went to Sassuolo, so it looks like they didn't really care about him. Maybe it's last season where they lost their main players. Alright, so they haven't lost anyone serious. They've brought in a fair few players, but maybe some of the players are injured? Is that why we're not seeing the usual starters? Bit unusual. Yeah, Dzeko just on the bench instead. Maybe that's what's put me off. But anyways, definitely a really good winger in Perotti. He's not too poor of a player, but Schick up there and up front should work in our favour. I think he's probably going to score against us now that I said that, but I don't think he's as good as Dzeko. 3-man midfield, that's very dangerous, but we should be able to hold our own and keep them occupied with our own front 4. And the defense, I think, is an area that we can exploit a bit. Fazio in particular, their fullbacks, I think we can do well against them. Manolas is pretty much the only guy who can hold his own. Alisson's a very decent goalkeeper, but I think our strikers should definitely do a good job against them, so let's hope for that. In terms of what we're expected, I'm pretty sure we're not favourites for today's game either, so we're also going to start on the counter. And let's go with we've been on a good run, so try and impress me. We're just trying to inspire these players to a result. And start on the counter again. Let's hope that again works in our favour. Alright then, kick off. Roma get things going. Definitely going to be fired up for the game. They, you know, just as much they have every right to try and be the table toppers. Like I said, it's very competitive this season, so anyone can pretty much win it at this point, but we want to try and prove our own title credentials and grab all 3 points, if not just 1 point against Roma. They look to start early and well though. Schick is in the fence, he's in behind us, Perotti's there, Nainggolan can convert of course, but that's very all-round poor defending, and you'd expect my players to do better. They've definitely started terribly, as the commentator says. When you play on the counter and you concede first, that's never ideal because Roma can just sit off now and have no issues. But we'll stick to our guns and hope we can try and grow into the game a little bit. This is just all-round poor defending. I mean, he's doubled up on him. Actually, it's Lucas there, so who's here? Okay, this makes sense now. Conti's here, but then who's this? Why are we such a mess? Why is everyone all over the place? That is weird. Lucas is here. Wow, this is just incredible. Anyway, Schick shouldn't be getting that crossing at all. This tackle's really good, but just unfortunately falls into Nainggolan's way. And we just got pulled around, really, in the way that we shouldn't be pulled around. But again, like I mentioned, we do have some questionable defending at times. We're not too good at keeping clean sheets. I think we should definitely do better. And just to make things worse, Silva picking up a knock. That is not ideal. We've got Nicola on the bench, so not the worst backup. Nicola and Herrera are pretty much the best backups you could ask for, but Roma trying to score a second, and they convert. That is not good at all. What on earth were my players doing? Again, just walking about, not really man marking, not really doing anything. Manolas this time, and I talked about how dangerous he was, but I was talking about how good his defending is, not in terms of how he can convert. But again, look at the completely free. Schick should be converting on himself. It's 2-0 to Roma, and things are falling apart for us very quickly. Just 2 shots and neither of them on target. Finally, maybe a highlight that's in our favour. We got the throw in at least. Lucas almost lost it out. Silva there, what can he do? He's injured though. Conti can't deliver, and Schick is going to try and get Roma on their own counter. Look at how they break. That's probably why our tactics not worked so far, but we can play the counter game as well, can't we? Strootman. Good ball forward to Schick. We're going to have to try and stop the cross. They've got players in the box. Perotti's there and he picks it up, squares it to Nainggolan, and they almost scored again, but that's not... We're just getting pulled around for no real reason. Nainggolan almost had a chance there again. That late runners that they're bringing into the box is really causing us a bunch of trouble, and Nainggolan gets Goriski free, and that's hit the bar. Hakan's there to pick up, but we can't counter effectively. I think what's happening is Roma, we struggle to play against teams who counter, but I was hoping we could counter ourselves. Anyways, chance for us here. Hakan tries to dribble, but eventually just passes it to Baka. He's outnumbered. Roma definitely are playing on the counter. They've got every man back other than Schick there, so we might need to step things up in terms of how attacking we are, but I just want to try and grab ourselves a goal. Ooh, a deflection there? No, it's just a poor shot, I guess. I want to try and stick to our guns. It worked against Juve. I think we've conceded poorly, but goals we should have dealt with better. It's not about our tactics. We just should be dealing with those situations better. Anyways, our own set piece. Can we score? Rodriguez with the delivery. Manolas rises though, and Bruno's trying to get this, but will Rodriguez get there first? He does, but it's a poor delivery, and Schick. Again, Roma try and counter. Perotti free off the last man. There's 2 trying to cover him, but Perotti's going to go all the way. Held up well, but Goriski's there, and Roma still breaking. They're going to score from this own set piece, are they? Ooh, Schick heads over. But again, the players are there to deal with the threat. They just don't do it. And serious concerns for our defending. Look at how many players are underperforming. Not working out at all. Conti to Bonici. Even though they counter, they still press rather well. Either way, Silva comes deep for the ball, but he just squares it to Suso, who tries to play an early through ball to Baka. It's a really good one. Can he convert though? Saved us. Baka's absolutely saved us. He's onside. We can head into the break with something to build on. I'm hoping for another one quickly, but that's one hell of a through ball from Suso. And that's the kind of link-up play I want to see. Inside forwards, I think Suso's on support, so he just plays that early through ball. And this is what makes inside forwards better than wingers in this sense, which is their vision and passing. That's one hell of a ball to Baka. Advance forward. All he's trying to do is break beyond his man, and he does that excellently, but he also converts. Type of play that we want to see more of. And maybe we'll get another chance to do it here. But no, Conti loses out to Perotti. Roma coming at us again. Forward to Schick. He's kind of isolated, so if we can win the ball back, we can counter effectively. Takes a long-range shot. Donnarumma deals with it quite easily. But, oh, that's the end of that. I was hoping for another opportunity. But as you can see, a bunch of underperformers. We're not really doing well across the pitch here. Can't see the defenses to blame or the midfields to blame or anything, just pretty much underperformers in a bunch of positions. As you can see, Hakan giving it away, Schick trying to get the cross in, stop it, no, Nangolan's there, Rodriguez cleared, but only to Bruno Perez is the name, but Perotti's there and he squeezes it in, and that type of ball should not be happening. We don't clear effectively, and Strootman can find Perotti very easily in the box. He's quick to react, Perotti. We talked about how dangerous he was before the game. Look at this. Alright, so Alessio clears it, but it's only to Bruno. For some reason, Hakan's not really trying to win it. We come out and win it again, but it just falls, it's just messy. Strootman quite easily to Perotti. He's not being man-marked as he should be by Conti. And he squeezes in one hell of a shot, to be honest. It's a good chance that he's converted. But yeah, I don't think it's our tactics at all. I think my players are just, for some reason, all of them have fallen apart at a game that we couldn't afford them to fall apart in, and Roma are certainly capitalizing on every mistake. Anyways, time to tell the players off. Silva needs to come off for Nicola as well. I don't want to risk him getting any more injured. We need him for the rest of the season. I don't think he's had a particularly good game either. 6.2 rating, so it kind of works in our favour. Donnarumma, and let's try and see if we can do a bit better. I also forgot, maybe roaming and being more expressive work in our favour again, because at the moment we're not doing too well in terms of our movement. Maybe we can encourage more of that here. Anyways, Conti, can we grab another to quickly get ourselves into the game? Because at the moment, Roma with a comfortable lead, no real reason to come at us anymore. They're definitely still going to try. But it's just good that Schick is having a poor game. Roma with the ball again, the throw in. Strootman, Perotti to Mario to De Rossi. Keeping a good shape so far, but I can see that changing. Nangolan with the long range shot. Looked on target as well, but thankfully he just went over the bar. Look at how many players have got forward. We really should be hitting on break a little bit better there. Perotti, can we steal it from him? Apparently not. Cuts in, walks into our defense and takes the shot. I mean, I don't even know what to tell my players there. Roma definitely not taking their foot off the gas though. Alright, no choice but to not only make some substitutions, but also we don't have any time left. We're gonna have to do it now. We're gonna have to go into control. I'm trying to avoid going into attacking as much as possible because they do counter-attack, as we've seen them. And once we go into control, there's a highlight, and it looks like it's going in Roma's way. Schick is there. Thankfully, it's over. He's had a stinker, an absolute stinker. I'm surprised his boss hasn't even made one substitution so far. Either way, Nicola not doing too well either. A lot of my players are performing poorly. Suso trying to change things though. Going for the shot is quite ambitious. Not the type of play that we're looking for at the moment. We need better. Alisson with the goal kick. Rodriguez wins it easily. Bonaventura though. What can he do? Decent try, but needed a better pass, and the truth, it needed better movement from Bacca. He wasn't really trying to make the run at that time. Anyways, trying to close down Alisson, but he's always going to clear that. Can we win the ball? There's about 3 players trying to win the same ball, and that's as stupid as it gets. But Nicola can spread it to Suso. Roma get back well, and Lucas trying to create something. Conti forward to no one in particular, and again, Roma should be able to deal with this easily. Manolas under pressure. Alisson? Nope, Bacca stopped. Forward to Bruno. This highlight is endless, but again, we're keeping the ball a bit better than before. A bit more attacking at least. Lucas spreads it to Conti well. Forward to Suso, he's got a bit of time. Closed down quickly again. Kessie should be doing better as a spare man at this point. Bacca through to Bonaventura. What can he do? Can he finish? Squares it really well. That is just absolutely unselfish and great vision. And we're definitely we have a chance now to get back into the game. Good all-round play, winning the ball back, sustaining the pressure, and eventually Roma crack. And it looks like Kessie did do the right thing by finding Bacca, who played a nice little ball through to Bonaventura. And again, the vision to square it to Nicola instead of going for it himself. And in truth, Sousa could have grabbed the goal on the back post as well. So we just need a third. Alright, there's one more highlight. There's no more substitutions to make. I don't know why I'm hovering over it. But anyways, highlight here again. Roma, tell me they break. Yeah, they're cracking now. And Bacca just has to find the right pass. Nicola, Bonaventura's there. He's got the overlap from Kessie. Can Kessie find the right cross though? Square, there's 5 players. Suso, Nicola. There you go, 3-3. It looks like we should have played in control all game long. And we need another to actually win this game, but so far doing well. I don't want to go on attack because everything's working smoothly as much as, we're sort of running out of time. But this is a great break. Roma struggling to come back. Kessie is a box-to-box midfielder, has the freedom to go anywhere he wants, and he's done really well. The cross is kind of poor, but Suso works it well. And Nicola just has to get it on target. He's got plenty of time, plenty of the goal to aim at. They go 3-3, so we're at the point where we have the result that we kind of want, but we need another goal. Manolas still trying to change things. Nyangolan as well hits the bar, I think, but eventually it's scrambled, and Roma are waking up by the looks of things, but we want to keep things up. Rodriguez, tell me you win it. Yes, he does, but Bonaventura is slow. Bacca was there. Manolas to Nyangolan. Strootman. We're doing a little bit better, but Dzeko's on the pitch now. I didn't realise that, so he's going to try and change things up. Good tackle from Lucas, but Strootman to Perotti. I will take that shot all day long. Bonaventura, Bacca. Can we hit them on the counter again? Through ball to Nicola, maybe? He tries it, but it's a little bit late. Nicola wasn't making the run as much. And Manolas goes back to Allison. Highlight continues, but I'm hoping it continues or ends in our favour. Allison's closed down by Bacca. Thought he might lose it. Come on, Romanoli. Oh, just put that on the floor, but he doesn't. But Kessie's there to win the second ball. Back to Lucas. Suso. Is he going to find Bacca again? No, he's trying to go in by himself. Nicola. Oh, it's through to Bacca. He's not offside. Oh, but he couldn't score it. It would have been the winner. It would have been 4-3. Oh, great. Set piece though. We can still try and convert. Lucas with the delivery. Not a bad one, but no one's really attacking it other than Alessio. And he pushed Dzeko as well, so that's great. But yeah, Roma dominating in terms of their shots, but shots to shots on target isn't that great. Ricardo Rodriguez picking up a yellow is not an ideal thing to do at this point. Dzeko, yep, we deal with the threat again well. So Nicola trying to get back on his way. Can Bonaventura overlap though? Bacca, can you square? Can you find anyone? If you can't convert chances, at least create one. Let's hit the crossbar. Suso at the far post, what can he do? Deliver. He tries, but it's just straight to Allison. We need to do better. And I'm going to wait till the last possible moment before going into attacking, because at the moment we're doing everything right but converting. We need the fourth goal. Conti down to Suso. I don't know why he's facing his own goal, but he plays it forward to Nicola. Just has to head it. Manolas instead. De Rossi on the ball now. Not what we want to see. Strootman. Time to turn. He finds Dzeko really well. Bonucci though is always going to deal with that. Kessie to Nicola. Can we hit them on the break again? He's trying to turn and play the pass, but he can't, so he goes to Suso instead, who does find the pass through to Kessie. Down to Nicola again. Can he square it to Bacca? He can, but can he convert this time? Yes, he does. 4-3, and this has worked all in our favour. I'm very tempted to go into counter, but it didn't work for us in the beginning of the game. And it's all about how Roma react to this goal. Will they go full out attack and maybe we can go on the counter? Or do we stay in control and keep things as is? Very difficult at the moment to make any type of decision. But all round good play. This is really good. And Bacca makes sure that he makes up for his earlier miss. Could have even found Bonaventura as well. You know, we get plenty of players forward. That's why we play direct. And we've turned this game on its head. But yeah, Roma definitely going more attacking at the moment. They have a switched formation, but they have gone more attacking. And I want to see now in this highlight whether we should have gone counter or not. Playing the more risky balls and whatnot, but maybe you can grab a fifth. Bacca. Poor first touch, and De Rossi is quickly there to pick it up. So look, as you can tell, more attacking, pushing up the fullbacks really high, but we've got the wingers to hit them on the counter as well as the strikers. Question is, do we need our wingers to actually keep an eye on the fullbacks? 3 forward. Good, perfect ball from Nicola, the type we want to see from the support. Backers there. Good God, that should have been our 5th, and his hat-trick. Backers going to give me a heart attack. Anyways, Roma still not switching formation, so it looks like it's working well in our favour. Just a couple of minutes now, and that should be the end of that. I can't believe we turned that game on its head. Oh my God, that is incredible. 4-3 it ends, and it looks like playing on the counter didn't help. We weren't, necessarily favourites. The game expert, I suppose, expected us to win. But overall, we weren't actually favourites. I couldn't necessarily tell my players that we should expect the win. But thankfully, playing on the counter didn't cost us too much, and going on control, second half blitz, telling off my players definitely worked, and it ends with us grabbing all 6 points against Roma and Juve, and now we're top of the table and we can start talking serious business. But we do need to keep this up. I think that's our 17th game of the season, so we're pretty much midway. We have to put in a second half of the season, we have to put in the same performances or even better to maintain this, because look at that difference, very, very tight. And it looks like we've kept the draws to a minimum, which has worked in our favour. We have to keep getting our wins. Anyways, those are the 2 fixtures for December. Hell of a run that we're going on at the moment, and we have to keep that up, because the game that we're going to be looking out for in January is going to be the one against Napoli. We've only got a couple of games, a handful of them really. Atlanta to Genoa, just 4. We play Atlanta twice, once in the Italian Cup first round. Atlanta, Napoli and Genoa pretty much has to be Napoli. Atlanta and Genoa not necessarily threats, or not expected to be threats. We're hoping that won't be the case either. We're facing a bunch of mid-table teams in truth, so we should grab a bunch of points here, and hopefully if we can get a nice little win against Napoli at home, we might really be contenders for the title. But anyways, that'll be all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, of course, please hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager 2018 content. And of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And once again, guys, as always, thank you all very much for watching.